So guys, we'll create a package here. Let us create a package. So basically I'll create a class better guys. So let's say the class name is, let's say some class name. Okay, let us take a common name itself, department, or anything you can take. Okay, let's say class name is test better. Class name is test. I'll give here package name is com.jsp dot multiple constructor. Multiple constructor. Okay. And next I'll create a class as well as I'll create a package. We have created a class by name test. Now, next, similarly, we want one configuration file. So we'll copy the configuration file in any of the packages, and even we'll copy the app.java and we'll paste in this multiple constructor package, so that whenever we want, we can access the package along with program. Okay, so app has not been copied, app.java. Now, let us open all the classes configuration file one by one. So first we'll open app.java. Let me delete these things not required. Let me pass the, so I'll say this as a, let's say 4 config 4 file. Config 4.xml. Fine, let us proceed. So what is the package? Com dot first config 4. Next we have to pass the package name, complete package name. So it's not demo now, it is something as multiple constructor. Multiple constructor. We'll give forward slash. Yeah. So main class is ready now. So what I'll do, I'll go for this class. Then let us take some property here. So I'll take int x equals to 5. Okay, since I'm going to use constructor injection, so I'll declare and initialize with a constructor. So private int x. Next, similarly, private int y. Let's take 2 parameters. So first I'll declare a constructor. So I'll say here public test, and I'm going to pass these 2 arguments. If you want, you can generate the constructor automatically as well. So let's say int x comma int y. Let's say these are 2 arguments we have. So let us call the value here. So I'll say this dot x equals to x. This dot y equals to fine. So I'll generate one more constructor here. I'll generate one more constructor. So I'll change it to double here. I'll say double y, and similarly I'll say double x and double y. Now since this x is integer type, so I'll perform here casting. So I'll say int here, and here as well I'll say int. So yes, now we have basically 2 constructor. First is integer type, second is, so I'll say here int colon int. Just to print, just to differentiate which constructor will be called, we'll give here constructor int int. Similarly, let us give here constructor type as double double. Yes, this is done. Now let us declare a method as well. So I'll say public void add, and I'll pass, yeah, I'll say public void add, and I'll say, yeah, let's say, so we need to perform the addition. So we can say here out, let me print the value of a and b as well, so that a value of a is, why I'm doing these many things you will get to know guys once we'll execute the program. Value of a is unnecessary, I'm not doing, don't worry. Value of a is this. Similarly, let's say value of b, so I'll change it to b. So since it is going to act as a member variable, so if you want to call member variable inside a method, you have to make use of this keyword. You know that guys, I hope. So I'll say this dot a, this dot b. Hold on, I'm getting an error. Okay, sorry, it's x and y. It's x and y guys. Here also x and here y. That's this out and print the result. Result is I'll say plus again this dot x plus this dot y, because we have to call the member variable inside of method. Yes, that this work it. This is done now. Next, what we have to do, we have to go for the configuration file and we have to pass the value. We have to invoke the constructor. So this is my configuration file. I'll say bean control space, and I need to pass here. So I'll say here, guys, bean class equals to, and I need to pass fully qualified class name, and I'll give a name for this. So currently I'm going to use for C schema. So let me copy paste this thing and let us change it to C here as well, so that we can reduce the length of the code. See. So let me pass a fully qualified class name. So let us copy the fully qualified class name and let us pass. So guys, let's say the first entity name is nothing but test1. This is nothing but your bean name. Now I want to initialize with the help of C schema. So I'll say C colon. And the first attribute is X. I hope you remember, colon equals to 10. I'll give a space C colon Y equals to 10 itself. Let's say 10 itself, and I'll close this tag here itself. I'll go for self closing tag. So I'm getting an error. Why so? Let us see. Yes, we have to pass in double quotes. Yes, the work is done. So guys, let us call the bean. So already this object will be created by application context. We are going to use class path. So let's say context dot get bean, and here we have to pass. Okay, so I'll go for this particular argument. So first I'll pass here the bean name is test1, if you remember, and the class name is test dot class itself, and we'll store in a variable by test itself. So we'll say test a equals to, and we'll print the result. So these things already we discussed in last class. So guys, can you tell me here which constructor will be called? First constructor int will be called. So right click, let us execute, and we'll see what output we are getting. So constructor int, so we are getting fully qualified class name. So let us overwrite to a string method as well. So I'll go to source and I'll pass here to a string method. Okay. So yes, according to us now, which constructor will be called? So currently int is the constructor will be called, and we'll get the value. So value of x is 10 as well as value of y is 20. So better call the method also if you want, guys. So let's say a dot method name is add, so that we can perform addition as well. So you can see program execution started, constructor int call, then we are printing the value of x, we are printing the value of y, then result is 20, and since constructor is called, so the object has been returned here, so test, and then x equals to 10, y equals to 10. Now guys, let's say, so currently this integer type is going to act as, integer type constructor I passed first. If I interchange the order, yes guys, if I interchange the order, then can you tell me which constructor will be called here? Anything else? Yeah, which constructor? Double type constructor or int type constructor, guys? Int type constructor. So guys, remember always. So here internally, what we are doing, guys? Yeah, basically for these two for this constructor also, we are passing value as double. We are passing value as double, but internally inside this body, what we are doing, we are performing upcasting. In the sense, not upcasting, sorry, we are performing a casting, narrowing basically. So compiler is going to consider for this constructor also, if you are going to perform here casting, then compiler will consider for this constructor also argument as int and int only, because we are performing here what casting. So if you will pass 10.12, then internally it will be converted to 10 itself, and this value will be inserted and this constructor will be invoked. Now in case of your Spring framework, constructor will be executed from top to bottom. Constructor will be executed from top to bottom. So guys, first which constructor we have? First we have double type. So in case of for the double type constructor, what we did internally, we are performing typecasting. We are performing narrowing, or let's say typecasting. So if we are going to pass the value as 100.20, then internally we convert it to 100 and it will pass to this constructor. Yes. So since here in case of Spring, guys, constructor execution is nothing but it will follow top to bottom approach. It will follow, guys, top to bottom. So here, since we perform here casting, so even this constructor is going to act as integer type itself. Because we perform here casting, guys, so this constructor will be acted as integer type itself. So whichever constructor will come first, it will be executed. So whichever constructor, guys, will come first, it will be executed. So let us execute and see what output we are getting. So since it is going to follow top to bottom approach, and here we perform typecasting, so first constructor only will be executed, guys. first constructor only will be executed. So let us execute now. You can see double type constructor has been called because we perform here typecasting. So automatically that whatever we are going to pass here, typecasting will happen automatically by compiler. It will pass 10, it will convert it to 10 point something, it will pass 100 point something, it will convert it to integer, and then this particular constructor has been invoked. If you are going to change the order also, then if you are going to change the order, then first constructor, whichever first constructor we have, it will be executed. Now, if I pass the value, guys, let's say I'll interchange the order. I'll interchange the order, and here I'll change it to, here I'll change it to 100.50, sorry, 10.50, and here as well I'll say 100.50, 100.50. So guys, can you tell me in this case which constructor will be called? In this case, second constructor should be called. Let us see, let us execute. You can see. But automatically what happened here, typecasting has happened, so we are getting 1000. But if I'll interchange, guys, if I interchange, then automatically compiler is going to perform here typecasting, and this constructor only it will be executed, because in case of strings, constructor execution starts from top. It is going to follow basically top to bottom approach. It is going to follow basically top to bottom approach. So let us execute now and see, we will get again double itself. Now guys, what I'll do, I'll declare one more constructor. See here carefully now. I'll declare one more constructor. So let us declare, guys, one more constructor here. Let us declare one more constructor. So I'll keep the things as it is. And here I'm going to pass the argument as string type, string of X, and here as well as I'll pass string of Y. I'll pass a string of X and string of Y. But basically this X is expecting integer type value, guys. But basically X is expecting integer type value. But what we are passing, guys? We are passing as string type value. Here X is expecting integer type value, but we are passing string type value. So it is throwing an error. So again here, if you want, you can perform here typecasting. So you can say, you can make use of a wrapper class integer dot, and we will convert it into, we will accept the integer and will convert into the wrapper class type of integer. So we'll say integer dot, and let's say parse int, and here we can pass the string value. Here we can pass the string value. So let's say what I need to do here, I need to use here X. So basically what we are doing, guys, we are accepting the int. So this X is what type, guys? This X is going to act as here string type. So we are taking X as string type and we are converting it into integer type. So if you want to convert string into integer, you can do like this. You can say integer, which is the wrapper class, and you can make use of a function parse int, and here you can pass the string value. Similarly, you can do for this Y as well. Similarly, guys, you can do for this Y as well, and here you can pass Y. So basically what happened here, we have converted the string value. We have converted string value into integer value now. And then we are going to store in this member variable this dot X, or we are going to store in the member variable this dot Y. So here I'll change, I'll say constructor is nothing but string type and string type, string colon string. So we have converted the string type into integer type, and then we are passing to the member variable value. So guys, if I'll execute this, yes, if I'll execute this, can you tell me which constructor will be executed? Yeah, I'll change it to 10, and here as well I'll change it to 100. Now tell me which constructor will be invoked here. So guys, remember, in case of Java, always compiler is going to give priority for string. In case of string, it will not follow any approach at all. If compiler will see if we have any string value. So if you know, guys, we can perform method overloading. Yes, we can perform method overloading, guys. But for method overloading, if I'm going to pass argument as int, so this main method won't be executed. You know that, because compiler will search main method as string type. So same thing is going to happen always in case of Java, or in case of Spring, or whatever. In case of Java, you can say always compiler will give priority for the string. So in case of string, it will not follow top to bottom approach. In case of string, guys, it will not follow top to bottom approach, because string is nothing but non-primitive. So in case of non-primitive, you can say, in case of non-primitive data type, it will not follow top to bottom. In case of primitive data type, yes, it will follow top to bottom constructor execution. So here we are passing value as integer only. We are passing value as integer only, but internally compiler will call, yes, internally compiler will call this constructor itself. This constructor, not this, yeah, this constructor itself. Let us execute and see. So remember, in case of string or non-primitive data type, it will not follow top to down execution. You can see this. Which constructor has been invoked? Constructor type constructor has been, sorry, string type constructor has been invoked. So can I say, guys, here we are going to face ambiguity problem. Here compiler is confused which constructor I should call. If there is primitive type, then whichever will come first, it will be executed. But if we are going to pass string, here compiler is confused. Yes or no, guys? Here compiler is confused. Shall I call first constructor or shall I call string type? So you can see if there is primitive and non-primitive, then first non-primitive type constructor has been called. But if there is no non-primitive type, then it will follow top to bottom approach. So guys, how to solve this problem? Yes, how to solve this problem? Yes, so to solve this problem, guys, we have to do a small change. We have to do a small change here. That is, yeah, let's say if you are going to treat, so by default, as I said, since we are passing this x as x in double quotes, it is going to treat as string. It is going to treat as string. So what we can do, we can specify here. If you want to treat this 10 as integer, then here you can say type. Here you can say type equals to. Here you can say type equals to integer. Here you can say type equals to integer. So by default, yeah, by default, guys, this 10 will act as string because we are passing in double quote. So here we can't use C schema, guys. In this case, we can't use C schema. We have to go for our normal thing. So let us close this. So C schema, P schema is not applicable everywhere. So let me make use of that constructor arg. Yeah, I need to pass one more property. So constructor arg, you can go for with value as attribute value. So I'll pass here. Let's say first I'm going to pass here value. So value equals to 10. Here also let's say value equals to, let's say 100. 10 and 100. And here, if you want to treat this 10 as 10, yes, if you want to treat this 10 as integer, then you can specify here type equals to, and here you can say, let's say integer. And if you want to specify this 100 as integer only, then you can say int. So in this case, what will happen, guys? Yes, compiler will get to know. Yes, compiler will get to know this first value 10 is integer type. Second value 100, it is again integer type. Yes. So this time compiler will get to know and it will execute the constructor which is accepting integer and integer argument. So in this case, it will not follow top to bottom. By default, remember guys, by default, yeah, let's make a point. By default, it will follow. By default, it will follow top to bottom. Yeah, by default, guys, you can say it will follow. By default, it will follow top to bottom. But always string type will be executed first. Yes, in case of string, guys, it is exception. So that's what I'm telling. But always string type will be executed first. But you see here now in the configuration file, you have specified that this type is int and int. So it will. So in this case, compiler will search which. In this case, compiler will search which constructor is accepting integer type. So it will always start. It will always start the search from top itself. So here no. Here yes. So here compiler will get to know this particular constructor is accepting integer type. So this constructor will be invoked. This particular constructor will be invoked. Yes. So let us execute and see the output, guys. Yes, you can see here integer type constructor has been invoked. Here integer type constructor has been invoked. Now, if you want to invoke double type constructor, then you can specify here explicitly. So you can say here, you can say double, and even here you can pass double itself. Now again compiler will search, will start from the first constructor, will search which constructor is accepting double type. So in this case, double type constructor will be executed. Yes. Similarly, you can specify like this. So like this, guys, by specifying the type, we can solve the ambiguity or diamond problem. Yes, by specifying the type, we can solve the ambiguity or diamond problem. Yes. Now guys, now one more thing. One more thing I want to add. Now let's say we are passing here two value. We are passing here two value. That is the value of x and the value of y. So automatically the first argument will be considered as value of x itself. Second argument will be considered as value as y itself. So for x, this 10 will be assigned. This 10 will be assigned. For y, this 100 will be assigned. So if you'll execute, you can see, guys, the value of 10. The value of x is 10 and the value of y is 100. Let us execute. You can see the value of x is 10 and the value of y is 100. Even I want to change the order. In the sense, I want that this value, whatever we are passing, this x should be the value of y. This 10 should be the value of y. Similarly, this 100 should be the value of x. So what I need to do, guys, I want to change the order. In the sense, I want to say to the compiler, so by default, for this x will be assigned. X value will be assigned, and here y will be assigned. But what I want the value of y should be 10 and the value of x should be 100. So what we have to do, we have to specify the index position. If you want to change it, guys, we have to specify the index position. Now you know index position always starts from 0. Index position, guys, always starts from 0. So what I'll do, again, I'll pass here index equals to, let's say, if you want to assign this index as 1. So now this automatically this value 10 will be stored at the index position 1. So at the index position 1, guys, what we have y. Similarly, you can assign for this also, you can say index equals to 0. So like this you can interchange the value of an property in case of string. So you can say index equals to 1, index equals to 0. So here you have to pass, guys, in double quotes. Each and everything we have to pass in double quotes because we are passing the value for attribute, so we have to pass in double quotes. Attribute treated as string. Yes, you can see we have interchanged the order. So currently the value of x is 100 and the value of y is 10. So like this, guys, you can proceed and you can solve this ambiguity problem. Yes, like this you can proceed and you can solve this ambiguity problem. So guys, is it clear how we can solve? So we can solve this ambiguity problem by specifying type keyword. By specifying, guys, type keyword here. And if you want to interchange the value, like in place of x, if you want to assign y, in place of y, if you want to assign x, then you can make use of this index. Yes, is it clear, guys?